Hey guys, Micah from Black Bear Custom Kydex. I have a video for you today on a little EDC setup that I made for Rich, and I'm sorry brother, I can't remember where you're at. I'll have this in the mail today for you though. I gotta look back through our conversation. Alright, so basically this is all black. Obviously it is for a Gerber center drive with a Gerber tool bit kit. Very different from the Leatherman bit kit. Well, I guess it's not so different. And then we got a Streamlight Stylus Pro flashlight. So I'm just going to give you a quick rundown on how each of these things is set up. So first off, you can see that the whole thing is curved. It is on a tech lock, and this is a little bit difficult to put on because of that curve and the tech lock being, you know, kind of near one of those points of curvature. So really, I mean, it's no different from getting it on normally, but what I would recommend is you might want to consider, I don't know what kind of belt you're going to be running this on, so I guess it'll be different depending on the belt, but I have like a Cobra buckle on mine, so what I would do with mine is I would probably undo the buckle and just pull a little slack wherever I need to put this on, put it on, and then kind of shore everything up. I feel like that would probably be the best way to go about it. But anyway, it is really good, compact, tight against the body. I originally did not have this curved, and it just, the bit kit stuck out just a little bit, and it was enough that I said, you know what, I'm gonna go back, I'm gonna reheat some sections, I'm gonna try to curve it. Worst case scenario, I'll start over. Luckily I didn't have to start over, everything curved just fine. So anyway, all right, now I'm rambling, I apologize. All right, so one thing right out of the gate that I will tell you is that I am no longer making multi-tool sheaths for Gerber multi-tools. One of the things that I have found largely with Gerber is that their quality control has just gone so far south over the last couple of years. It's really quite tragic because they did have some really cool stuff, or they do have some cool stuff. It's just that I can't predict. I have no way of making anything consistent for it because the tools themselves are not consistent. So even if you were to send me your individual tool, some of them just don't work well. Some of them have, you know, like a bad rail system, particularly the out the front pliers, like the multiplier MP600, the center drive. Some of them are just like, they just don't have a good rail system in them. Some of them are not even the same size. And this is just a problem that I've consistently encountered with various Gerber multi-tools. So for that reason, I'm not making tool sheaths for Gerber multi-tools at the moment. That said, this order came right before I discontinued doing Gerber multi-tools, so I obviously honored the agreement to make the sheath that I had been paid for, of course. But this is probably the last Gerber multi-tool you're going to see on my channel for a little while, with the exception of there's like a really tiny little Gerber tool that I might be attaching to a bigger sheath at some point. Guy's talking to me about it right now, but we haven't really decided on that yet. So anyway, as far as like a multi-tool centric sheath for Gerbers, you're probably not going to see them on my channel for a long time. I hope one day to be able to offer them again, because I do get requests. Literally I get 5 or 6 daily requests for the MP600, so that's a lot of business I'm turning away, and I hope somebody else is out there picking up the slack. It's an issue. I'm sorry to ramble for so long about it, but I really need you guys to understand it's not because I don't want to offer that product. It's just because if I send you something molded off of one of mine and it doesn't fit, then you got to send it back. I got a refund. I got to pay shipping, whatever it is. I lose money on it. You don't get the great product and service that you want right out of the gate. And even if you send your tool to me, like I said, I can't guarantee that my sheath is going to make it work the same way it should if the pliers rail system were on point and consistent from one to the next. So okay, sorry, that was like 2.5 minutes of jaw jacking about that one subject, but all right, back to this thing. So now that I've said all that, It does so happen that the rail system on this I was able to successfully engage. So if you look, this has to be a I'm going to pull this out. This has to be a one position sheath. You can't turn the sucker around because this has that extender bit right there, the driver or whatever you want to call it, and because of that I have to create an asymmetrical holder. So you can see that this side is flared up quite a bit extra to accommodate for that piece there. Likewise, the rail system on the center drive is only on one side of the sheath, or one side of the tool, whereas on like the MP600 or even on the Leatherman OHT, you see a similar button assembly on both sides of the tool. On this one, it's just on one side. So to successfully make the rail system work and the pliers deploy upon drawing, you want to put pressure under this fin here. Basically, you just want to tilt the tool toward the button system on this side. So as you pull that out, and see how I'm only gripping one side of the tool. You can see how that deploys the pliers. Then going back in, it actually will engage those pliers, that button again, and collapse the pliers. So this is pretty cool. I've done a few Gerber center drive sheets, and I wasn't able to get the collapse to happen. I was able to get the draw to happen, but the collapse, this is the first time. So I was very excited to see that work. But you need to watch out for a partial deploy. If you grip it like this and in any way pinch the two handles together, you're going to get a partial deploy or a non-deploy like that. So sometimes maybe you don't want the pliers to deploy, and that's the best way to do it, is just to pinch the handles together. However, if you do want them to deploy, just grip the one side with the little extra fin coming out of it. I just kind of put my middle finger underneath it like so, and it works really nicely every time. Putting it back in, oops, a little misfire there. Yeah, putting it back in, you just kind of put some pressure right across the top. Just watch out not to get anything in between the handles, because those do pinch shut and will nick your skin pretty good. Okay, over here to the bit kit. This is a simple kind of holder. I just made a block of wood that had the same outer dimensions as the main sheath of this. Looking back, maybe I could have done it around the whole thing, but I didn't want to mess too much with this, and I also kind of wanted to give it a little more of a design. I'm kind of glad I did, because it allows for you to do this. So you can take this, you can cinch it down and kind of like bring that top down almost level with the top of the sheath, and it's more locked in place. It can still move a little bit, but it's sturdy. You'll feel that when you get it rich, but it doesn't want to move around much. But to get it out, you can just kind of tilt it sideways. You get yourself more to grip onto. You can pull it out. I would personally carry it with this flared part, this contoured piece, sticking up, because it just gives you a really good finger hold to get that out of there. So it is just a square piece. It's not molded around this particular shape, the bit kit shape, but it is a small enough dimension that it's like a friction hold essentially. So there's that. Then you got the Stylus Pro. Now this guy, there is one little trick to it. It does have a fairly smooth draw. You'll feel this is one of those USB. It's got like a sleeve that hides the USB port. So when you're moving this sheath, or the tool, in and out of the sheath, this is the widest part of the flashlight. So it will probably slide that sleeve one way or the other. And you have two options. You can just kind of let the thing sit in there like that. I wouldn't, you can put the pocket clip inside the sheath. The pocket clip width is actually smaller than the overall width of that little sliding, whatever you want to call it, the sliding bezel or something. So if you push it past that sliding bezel, the tool is just going to kind of get loose, and it's going to, well, I guess not super loose, but I just wouldn't carry it like that. Personally, I mean, I guess it works fine. What I do is I just kind of lift that pocket clip up as I'm putting the light down in, just to make sure that it clears the outside. It'll grip right onto the outside, and then boom, you don't have to worry about it falling out at all. And there you go. Rides right about in the middle of the holder. So I really like how this thing came out. I'm not big on carrying, you know, a big bulky EDC thing like this myself, but if I were going to, I would probably set it up very similar to this, just because, I mean, you can see it really does stay right slim to the contour of your body, so you can do your thing without having to worry about unnecessary bulk sticking out and grabbing onto something. Another thing I really like about this is where the tech lock is actually kind of behind the plane of the edges of this thing. It actually pretty much gets rid of any of like the additional, you know, couple millimeters of sticking out that a tech lock usually puts on you. So this kind of, in a way, just sucks it down and keeps it really snug to you. So I'm really happy with this. And Rich, I hope you like this, brother. I'm sorry it took so long to get to. Most of you guys know that my mouth wrote some checks that my butt couldn't cash. I guess I booked orders a little bit too fast about a year ago, and I'm still playing catch up. But on top of that, sort of getting behind on the orders and all that, I ended up going in for an emergency surgery several weeks ago now, and that put me out for a couple weeks. So things just kind of compounded, and then I got out of the hospital just in time for the coronavirus to strike. So now I've got every doomsday prepper wannabe, I guess would be, I say wannabe because you should prep before the doomsday strikes. So I'm getting a lot of requests now from people that are looking to get some survival gear, and I truly hope that everything blows over before I'm able to get that out. But yeah, anyway, all right, that's my spiel. You guys like this, hit that like button if you like the channel, subscribe, and I appreciate you sticking around for all my rambling. So like, share, comment, subscribe, and tune in for the next one. God bless.